Good day everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tax Training. Today I will discuss to you BIR Form number 1701A, which is the annual income tax return for individual earning income purely from business profession. Those under the graduated income tax rate with optional standard deduction as mode of deduction, or those who opted to avail of the 8% flat income tax rate. So there are two taxpayers who will be using this: those who will be using the 8% option rate and also the optional standard deduction. So there are two instruction on how to use this 1701A. Enter all required information in capital letters using black ink. Mark applicable boxes with an X. 2 copies must be filed with the BIR and 1 held by the tax filer. Okay. So we have here line number 1 for the year. Since we are about to file the 2019, then if it is 2019, then you are going to put there for the year December 2019. Why December? Because as individual are entitled to use only the calendar year, which is one taxable year beginning January and ending in December. So for the year ending, if this is 2019, then December 2019. Line number 2, amended return, yes or no? Yes, if you already have filed a return and then you file again because you want to correct or adjust some of the information in your original return file, then you check yes. But if this is not an amended return, meaning this is an original, you have not yet filed any other return, then you have to check no. Short period return, yes or no? If the information of this income tax return contained is for 1 year, then you answer no. But if that is a short period return, meaning the information is less than 1 year or the 12-month period, then you have to check the yes, short period return. Background information on taxpayer or filer. Number 4, taxpayer identification number or TIN. Very careful in using your tax identification number. Be sure that the tax identification number that you put in this income tax return are correct. Okay. So line number 5, we have the RDO code. Line number 6, taxpayer type can be single proprietor meaning engaged in business, and can be professional meaning engaged in the sale of services. Number 7, alphanumeric tax code. You choose between business income graduated income tax rates 11012 and 11015 business income 8% income tax rate. We also have 11014 for income from profession graduated IT rate, and 11017 income from profession 8% IT rate. Line number 8, we have taxpayer's name, last name, first name, middle name. Okay. Just a word of caution and a reminder. Please, in the taxpayer name, put the registered name of the taxpayer, not the business name. This is the name of the person, not the business name coming from the DTI. This is name of the person. Line number 9, the registered address. Indicate complete address. If the registered address is different from the current address, go to the RDO to update address by using BIR Form number 1905. In this case, you can go directly to the BIR fill up Form 1905 to update your information so that you can have now your new registered address. Okay. Zip code, there is a list of zip code. You copy what is applicable in your address. Number 10, date of birth. This is date of birth of the person, of the taxpayer or the registered taxpayer. Date of birth and then the email address. In the use of email address, use your own email address. Do not use the address of your account, the email address of your accountant or any other accommodation email, because you have problem, especially you have to wait for the confirmation. Okay? We have here number 12, the citizenship. Citizenship Filipino. If you have other citizenship, then you have to put there. Claiming foreign tax credits, yes or no. If you have income in other country and you have paid your tax there, then you claim the tax credit. Foreign tax number, if applicable. If you have other tax account number in other country, then put it here. Number 15, contact number, landline or cell phone number. Civil status, single, married, legally separated, widower. If you are separated, husband and wife, you are separated, but no court order, your status is still married. Do not put there legally separated. When you put legally separated, there is already a court order declaring your marriage to be legally separated. But if not, your legal status is still married. Number 17, if married, spouse's income, yes or no. Filing status, joint filing or separate filing. For the husband and wife, they are required to file joint filing, but in some cases, separate filing are also allowed. Number 19, tax rate, graduated rates with optional standard deduction as method of deduction, or the 8% in lieu of graduated rates under Section 24, which is the option rate. Who are the persons entitled to use the 8% option rate? Only those persons who have informed the BIR that they opted to use this 8% rate. And who are these persons? Those persons whose income are coming from self-employment or practice of profession, whose income does not reach the threshold of 3 million for value-added tax, are qualified to choose the 8% option rate. If you are earning income from self-employment or practice of profession and your income already is more than 3 million, you are not qualified for the option rate. And another requirement for you to be qualified is that you go to the BIR and you signify your intention, you bring your certificate of registration, and then you have it changed by, noted by the BIR registration personnel that you avail of the 8% option rate. If not, the default is the itemized deduction, the graduated rate. Part 2, total tax payable. Do not enter centavos. Okay. Particular. Number 20, tax due. Taxpayer filer or the spouse, how much is your tax due? Less total tax credit or payment. If you have paid some withholding taxes, you have to deduct that, and then the net tax payable or overpayment. Less portion of tax payable allowed for second installment to be paid on or before October 15. 50% or less of item 20. What is our rule on second installment? For those taxpayer whose tax due is more than 2,000, has the option to pay the second installment by paying 50% at the time of the filing of the income tax return, and another 50% should be paid on or before October 15 of the following year, or the year in which the filing of the return is required. Example, your income tax return for 2019 is to be filed the year 2020. So, since extended our deadline for paying the income tax return because of the COVID-19 is extended up to June, then you pay 50% on June upon filing of the first installment, and the second installment is October 15, 2020. You are entitled on that. And what is the requirement? You have to pay 50% of the tax due at the time of the first filing. If not, the whole amount will become due and payable. You are not entitled on the second installment. Line number 24, amount of tax payable or overpayment, if any. If you don't pay on time, then there are penalties that would be imposed on your basic tax. And what are these? The surcharge, interest, and compromise. Surcharge is 25% if justifiable is the reason for late payment, but if willful, 50% surcharge. Interest is 12% per annum, just like legal interest, as amended by the train law in 2018. 27, compromise penalty. This is a schedular based on your basic tax, which is unpaid. 28, total penalties, and the number 29, total amount payable or overpayment. And then you have to aggregate the tax due of the husband and wife. So, aggregate amount payable or overpayment by the husband and wife. Okay. What happened? If there is overpayment. Okay. So, if there is overpayment, meaning your tax due is lower than the tax or the withholding that you have already paid. So, what are you going to do? You have three options. The first option is to be refunded, meaning you claim or you file a claim with the BIR that you will be paid in cash for the overpayment of your taxes. The second option is to be issued a tax credit certificate. What is this tax credit certificate? This is a piece of paper certifying that you have overpayment in the of tax, and this tax credit certificate can be used in paying your other tax obligations. The third option is to be carried over as tax credit on the next year or quarter. So you just carry it over and use for your payment of income tax on the next year or quarter. And then you have to print the name and signature of the taxpayer or the authorized representative. And of course, since this is an income tax return, this is an official document, this is under the penalty of perjury, because when you file your income tax return, that means that you supply the correct information. So this is under the penalty of perjury. And then we have the details of payment on particulars. This will be filled up by the bank or the revenue collection officer. In the page 2, you have to supply also the tax identification number or the TIN, and also the tax filer's last name. So for the computation of the income tax, optional standard deduction. Okay? So, if optional standard deduction, fill in items 36 to 46. If 8%, fill in items 47 to 56. So, 4A, for graduated income tax rates, we have taxpayer, filer, and the spouse. Number 36, sales, revenue, receipts, or fees. For sales, we have the sale of goods. For revenues, receipts, or fees, these are from services. Sale of services. 37, list sales, returns, allowances, and discounts. Number 38, net sales, revenues, receipts, or fees. And number 39, less allowable deductions, optional standard deduction, OSD, 40% of item 38. What is this optional standard deduction of 40%? If you have an income of 100%, 40% of that by default given by law is your deductions, so that you are taxable on the 60% of your total income. So net income, and then add other non-operating income. If you have other income which is non-operating but they are taxable, you are going to add or declare in this annual income tax return. Number 43, amount received or share in income by a partner from general professional partnership. If you have a share in general professional partnership, that income should also be included here in order that you are going to pay also your income tax. Total other income, total taxable income, and the tax due. Okay, how much is the tax due? We have to apply the rate under the new tax table in the train law, which is the new tax rates effective 2018. For 8% income tax rate, this is the option rate. Number 47, sales, revenues, receipts, or fees, less sales, returns, allowances, and discounts, equals net sales or revenues, receipts, or fees, add other non-operating income, total other non-operating income, and then total taxable income, less allowable reduction from gross receipts or gross sales. And how much is this? This is 250,000, because in the new tax rate under the train law, the first 250,000 is exempt. So therefore, you are going to deduct the first 250,000 and then apply the 8% option rate. Okay, so number 55, taxable income, and then number 56, tax due. Okay, so in the tax due under the option rate, this is 8% of the gross. Take note that in the 8% option rate, there is no deduction. Why? Because the 8% option rate is already lower rate. Tax credit or payment or tax. This is the information about the payment that you have already paid or the tax credits that you claim. So prior year exists credits. 58, tax payment for the first 3 quarters. If you pay the quarterly income tax and you pay income tax there, then since this is an annual income tax return that includes the first 3 quarters, then you can claim the payment that you made on the first 3 quarters and then deduct it on your tax payment on the annual. Creditable tax withheld for the first 3 quarters, creditable tax withheld per BIR Form number 2307 for the 4th quarter, and number 61, tax paid and returned previously filed if amended return. So what do we say when it is an amended return? You already have the original return filed, and then you file again because you have to correct some information or to adjust some information. Number 62, we have foreign tax credits if applicable. If you have paid taxes, income tax in other country, then you can claim it as a deduction in your income tax payment. Number 63, other tax credit or payments. Number 64, total tax credit or payments. And then we have net tax payable or overpayment. And then the background information on spouse. You have to put here the spouse tax identification number, the RDO code where the spouse is registered, the filer spouse type, whether single proprietor or professional, and then the alphanumeric tax code, the spouse name, the contact number, and the citizenship, and if claiming a foreign tax credit. So the BIR Form 1701A for optional standard deduction and option 8% option rate, taxpayers will choose this mode of filing their income tax return. Has only 2 pages, and you are going to fill this up using BIR form. So when you fill this up in the internet on the BIR, after filling up the return, the form, you are going to send this to the BIR, and then you wait for the confirmation. Once the confirmation, the BIR will give you the confirmation they received the returns or the income tax return that you file, then that's the time that you will print the confirmation coming from the BIR. And if you have some payment, you have to go to the bank or to pay through GCash or other mode of payment. You pay for the income tax, and then if you have no payment, then you go to the BIR, bring along your 1701A form and the confirmation receipts, and have it received by the BIR, and then you have your copy. So you have to prepare 3 copies, 2 for the BIR and 1 for the taxpayer. So that's our episode for 1701A.